Men's 1500 at the West Coast Relays, I think, could be one of the better events coming up. It's deep beyond deep. I was trying to skim through the names of who I thought was notable, and I got to over 12. I think I got to so many names that probably people on this list will be in heat too, and not just in the invite heat. But running through the list, you have someone like Sam Tanner, Washington, Sam Prakel, Adidas, Nico Young running the 15, Connor Mantz, Mick Stanovsek of Washington, BYU's Talon Franco and Lucas Bonds, and Casey Klinger. More Washington guys and Cruz Culpepper, Leo Doshbach. Remember Leo Doshbach? He was the man of 2020, breaking 4 in high school. Eduardo Herrera of Colorado, Theo Quax of Northern Arizona, Chris Ollie. He's now a post-collegiate. But yeah, Sam Tanner, I think, is the headliner here, going up against Sam Prakel, who, is a great U.S. athlete as well. What do you think they run? I mean, we haven't seen Tanner. Has he run a 1500 yet this season? I mean, Basically, everyone is on the UW staff are all coming in all in on the 1500 because you got Prakel there, and then also Mick and Cruz Culpepper and Leo Doshbach, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so this is what we have from Tanner since he ran at NCAAs and went out in the first round. The only thing I have on him is a 148-800. And I believe, we got his T-first page up right there. Yeah, it looks like just the 148-800. So he's got something to prove. I think we're going to see something quick. Obviously, both of his 1,500-meter times from the winter were really quick. He ran that 36, and he ran the 334 in New York indoors, which was just nuts, breaking that national record. I don't know, though. Whatever he does, I don't know if I'm going to be sold just because I want to see him do it in a championship race, because when you go out in the first round, you want some evidence that you can do it throughout the rounds. But I think, especially if Hawker decides he wants to do the 5,000, which I don't know if he's going to do, puts Tanner in a good spot against Nick Goose. But I'm just excited to see him race again because I want to see if he's able to continue what he did indoors, because indoors was so good, but it got overshadowed because he went out in the first round, and then you had Hawker completely steal the show. There's an alternate reality there where Tanner is the guy we're talking about out of indoors, or it's like Tanner/Tier as opposed to Hawker now getting all of the attention or a lion's share of the attention.
Yeah, it's so true. It's interesting thinking about different alternate realities. I mean, what would the reality be if cross country happened during the fall, and then you had Yared Naguse in the mix, you had a Luis Grijalva, you had the BYU guys? It would have been another unique combination of who would be talking about coming out. But yeah, I think Tanner's going to go in here, and I think he can run probably in the 336, 337 range if he wants it. I have to imagine he's already got the ticket to the Olympics, so that's off his plate because he was announced to go to the Olympics with his countryman Nick Willis. What's the age gap between Sam Tanner and Nick Willis? It's like 20 years.
It's
probably not 20 years.
It's hefty.
Almost. It's hefty.
Well, let's see. Sam Tanner's 20. So it's not 20. It's not 20 years like fully 18? Because Nick Willis is he 38? Let's see. He is 38. Yeah, about 18.
Damn. So a whole Nico Young between them. They have a
whole voting age person in between them.
A whole voting age person. A whole yeah. But yeah, I think he's going to go out fast. I think having Tanner in that race is definitely going to pull along the rest of the field, and I think we'll see a lot of 1,500-meter PRs. I think someone like Nico Young will probably run lower in the 340s. I think he ran 344, Nico Young did. We will get another Nico Young versus Casey Klinger match. They race each other in the cross-country course. Not Casey Klinger versus Connor Mantz. Yeah, so Nico Young versus Connor Mantz, 2.0, but this time in a 1,500. Connor Mantz has wheels. It'll be interesting to see what he can do in an all-out 1,500. And Nico Young now, after running 13.24, you got to imagine he should be able to run closer to a sub 340 than not, right? I mean, most of the people who are running 1320s and better, they're all sub 340 guys.
Yeah. So his PB is 344. I have Mantz's PB at 345. You're going to see a lot of grinding from the gun from these two guys. I guess they're going to hope the pace goes out quick. Yeah, it'll be kind of fun to see the two 5K, 10K cross country type specialists go at it in a 1500. I think we're going to see the weather supposed to be hot, but not factor for the 15 as it would be for the longer stuff. I mean, yeah, Connor Mantz usually doesn't even he starts his kick farther out than 1500 meters, even in a cross country race. So maybe he's going to get like the world's most intense warm up, I think, before this race in Fresno to get going. You brought up Culpepper and Dashbach, two young guys from Colorado that are very interesting. Eduardo Herrera as well in the mix. He's running really fast, 5,000. What do you expect to see from the two young Washington guys, though, Culpepper and Dashbach?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where because if Culpepper and Dashbach lived in the era of like 5 to 7 years ago, they would be talked about so much more. But because of the talent in the nation has just continued to get better and better, they're, because if you scroll down to their personal bests, so that's their head-to-head, but if you scroll down to their personal bests, I mean, look at their personal best. They both run 359. One run it outdoors, one's run it indoors. And they both did that in like high school or first year in college. They're like this young raw talent, but the level of all of a sudden running 359 is the equivalent of running like 410 10 years ago. And so 359 isn't enough anymore. In order to become an elite, like a Cole Hawker type or Nico Young or a Sam Tanner type, you need to be 355 or better. So yeah. I'm sure training with Andy, they'll get them there. But maybe it's going to be a year or two. Maybe their sophomore, junior type years will be the years where they start entering that 355 range, being able to run sub 340 consistently, and being in contention to win national titles. But yeah, man, Andy Powell has so much young talent in Dashbach and Culpepper and Sam Tanner. It's like rich of riches, and it just never stops. You see this race here. This is Dashbach. Put that up on the screen. Dashbach running his sub 4 in high school in the middle of a pandemic. Badass right there. Look at that.
His kick was impressive. That was last year. You're right. Time has stood still, and he probably didn't get the attention that it normally would have, just because of how fast everybody has been running and how common now sub 4s have become, or at least not as once in a lifetime as they used to be. But yeah, he's got to close too, which is what you want to have in a miler. He's not just going to grind it out and run 59.9s for every quarter. Good race there on tap with that 1500.